Day one in the books for you guys practice-wise. Always probably good to have that. How'd it go today?
Yeah, it was good. Like you'd expect, everybody out there, good energy, a little bit nerves, I think for everybody, coaches included. It's the first day, it's putting everything that you've been working on back out there on display, meetings, and I thought overall, I enjoyed it. I think the guys enjoyed it. I think we had a good day. We worked hard. The first group, so the veteran group, those guys, really good through individual, team periods. And then the young guys, like we talked about, slowed it down. And I got a chance to see some for the first time out there and get to work with them. It was good. Those guys had great energy. They're trying to prove something. That's the thing you love about the rookies. You always love that rookie mentality. I wish everybody had it all the time. I think that's a way that when our older guys come out there and they see that, it's a great reminder of just when you have that rookie mentality, you're trying to prove something. You fly around, you practice hard, you get better, and we saw some really good things from the young guys. Key is moving forward, we get better. All right, what did we learn today? We're going to have meetings tonight. We're going to watch it. We're going to see what we did well, what we didn't do well, what do we have to get better at. Coaches getting organized, being very efficient with what we're trying to do tomorrow, with the time, what we can get done because of the split practices, and we go from there.
One of the guys talked to today was Horton. What's kind of impressed you about him? And obviously he's all of a sudden now the kind of old guy in that group.
Yeah, it goes quick. I guess he probably realizes that too. Horton's consistency, I think that's the biggest thing. From weight room, classroom, meeting room, practice field, he's just a consistent guy. He shows up, he's got a great attitude, he works hard, he's trying to get better, he's got confidence. The more he's played now, he's got more confidence. So when he goes out there, and if it's not perfect, he's going to come back, he's going to play the next play. All the things you talk about, and you start to see in guys, they actually do it. So I think he's a great example for that.
Tomorrow we're going to talk to Wolp, and I think, talking to Lee yesterday, he said, hey, right now, he's actually the one at top of the depth chart, not Alex. I mean, what has he done? I know things obviously will probably change, but I mean, what has he done to put himself in this position to go from walk-on to scholarship to now probably be a guy that's going to be a key back for you?
Sure. Yeah, those guys are all battling. Well, two things. I mean, he's committed and he does the work. Those two things have always been qualities that Ryan's had. He showed up, he had something to prove. You always wonder, how is that going to continue? Give him a scholarship because he deserves it. Hasn't changed. That's just who he is. He's a guy that will commit to going out there and whatever you ask him to do, he's going to do it. He's going to put in the time, put in the work, and that hasn't changed. So to me, he's still improving. He's getting better. He's a senior. We all understand that. You think by that time, there's still a lot of improvement to be made for all of our seniors, him included. Thought his first day out there, what you'd expect: consistency, hard work, giving the effort. Showing guys how it's supposed to be done when it comes to habits and practice. So that's got to carry over. We'll put the pads on. We'll get out of the helmets eventually. We'll get the pads back on. We'll let them go out there and run a little bit. We'll have a couple live scrimmages. That will tell us kind of where we are and how we look going into the season.
Ryan Clady retired today. I know he's a guy that you got to work with.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot
wow.
here. What impressed you most about him and what he was able to accomplish?
Wow. Yeah, that's boy. Ryan was. I guess you have to know his story a little bit and how he got here. He kind of played D-line in high school, comes in here, he's long, he's skinny, and works himself into a first-round pick. He was, as he grew and developed, you started to see a guy that massively changed just physically while he was here, and that was just his maturity and his hard work. But obviously out of practice, highly competitive and very athletic with it. When you have those two combinations and you're a coach and you see a guy and you watch one-on-ones, this is what I remember. I'd go over to one-on-ones, let the quarterbacks are doing something. I'd go over to one-on-ones and just watch, see how our guys were competing and all that. And Ryan's out there and obviously physically gifted, but ultimately competitive in the end. And that was fun. And then he had a good attitude about him too. I think Ryan kind of took everything in stride. It didn't really get up and down. Coaches might be going crazy and all that. And he just keeps playing. Kind of that next play mentality like we were talking about. Awesome. Been an awesome guy to be around and awesome to coach, and obviously did really big things for us here and has done things in the league. Good for him. You know what? Hey, he's had a successful career. We're proud of him. He shouldn't hang his head on anything he's done because he's put in a lot of work, and from the time he was here, weight room, everything, and that guy was first class and did the things he was asked to do.
Go ahead.
Are you pleased with the newcomers and this last practice that you just saw?
Some. You know, and I don't mean that necessarily that they're not out there. You know, we're just not, our practice habits, the focus, it's all those things. You know, so they're out there, they're working. You know, they're trying to do what the coaches ask them to do. But there's certain things that when players come in, they got to understand that this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to practice. And if we don't, we're not going to be successful. So from a habit standpoint, just purely practice and what we expect, no. Were there some guys that stood out? Absolutely. There's some talent out there. Those guys, some guys can play, some guys made plays. Some guys are learning how to do that. When the older guys kind of showed up there towards the end, you know, that elevates it a little bit. People are watching, so there's a little bit more energy out there. But overall, I think our coaches would say they're pleased with it, and we're just going to have to go back and really hammer the practice, make sure that we're hitting the main points, not so much the plays, just how we're going to do things and get that established.
Is this the first time you've seen them? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, it is. You obviously you watch them on film.
yeah,
I've
but I
had a
mean
chance to-
live.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I've seen some of these guys play. I've seen some of them practice, but not all of them. Our coaches have seen them, and so it is. It's the first time. And the neat thing, it's the football part of it. You know, if it's route running, coverage, whatever it is, you can see that, you know, on film, and your coaches can tell you in practice. They might, you know, take a picture of it or a video of it and all that. It's really getting there and interacting with them and watching how they respond. You know, when something goes bad, you get a little bit of an idea what their mentality is. What was that everyday practice like for them in high school? You know, when something bad happened, did they just kind of go over there and grab a water? Or something bad happened, did they spring up and go say, let's do it again, let's compete? That's what you find out. Those are the things that we're trying to create and practice right now, is just that mentality of this is how we're going to do it. And the things that we don't want to have happen, remind those guys that never like that, never again. And just make sure that they understand that, and let's move forward. All right, you're going to make mistakes, do it quickly, move on, and understand how we want to practice and what we expect from you.
As a group, were you pleased? I mean, with
Same
what you got.
Same question. You know, it's really, yeah, they did a good job. Coaches worked with them. We slowed it down. There were some good things out there, but we're not there yet. You know, as far as we're going to walk out of there. I think that's one thing too with young guys. You get a chance to see them for the first time. You don't know necessarily all those things, and you get excited about them. But you know, what's tomorrow going to look like? Day one, it's the first time they put the Bronco helmet on, and they've been out there with the coaches, and they're working. So there are some good things. What's tomorrow going to look like? And then when we get to practice 15 and 16, you know, that'll probably tell you a whole lot more about that group.
I know you guys moved Moa, you know, because he was suited a little better there, but you also wanted to get, you know, Louis more playing time, I guess, up
Yeah.
there. What? I know you talked about it in the spring, but how did you find him, and what does it say about him that, you know, a guy like David Moe, who was first team All Mountain West, you're kind of sliding him over in part to get a guy like Louis in there?
Well, David the plan was never to play him there necessarily. You know, we had to do that. And I guess to flip that question around, what does that mean from David Moa to go from a position he's naturally better at and probably fitted for to go play a nose where he's a little bit undersized, and you know, just his tenacity and mentality, you know, makes him a good football player at that position. Those other guys are playing nose; they're better suited for it. They're bigger. They're bigger bodies in there. You know, that's the position that they should play. Where David's moved out and can move him around a little bit is where he should be playing. And so, as far as finding him, you know, his mentality, he's always had that. He's a prove-it guy. You talk about the chip, and everybody talks about that chip and all that. Well, he's got it, and he's got a big old heart as well to go along with it, and he works hard. As simple as that. I mean, it's amazing how if you just go out there and you work hard and you're committed to something, how good things happen. And he's exactly that.
I can't imagine you would have thought, you know, last spring, whatever it was that he got here, that he'd be your starting nose then, you know, a year and a half later.
Well, that's the plan. You hope so.
Yeah.
You never know that. Every single guy, hey, this guy's the man, and you know, this guy, you don't even know anything about him. You know, he walked on and so on and so forth, and he's playing for the Denver Broncos, you know, the starting center. So I can't answer that question. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
But as far as, you know, what we thought of David and
Oh, no, I was
his
talking about
family-
Louis.
Oh, Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So same thing. Louis comes here, and he comes in the spring. He's coming off his mission. You know, I met him, and all right, the guy wants to walk on. Awesome. You know, big body, all that. Don't know anything about him. He's worked himself into a position and worked himself into a scholarship as well. All the same qualities I've been saying. You know, you ask him to do something, he'll do it. Or he's committed, he understands, and he'll go out there and he'll do the work. Simple as that. He's changed his body. He's gotten bigger. You know, even for some of those big guys, you know, they get stronger. They actually lose some body fat. So he's more powerful at this point. So he and Emmanuel Facility, both those guys playing in that nose position. And those two guys are good players. They're pushing each other, and they're friends. You know, they're teammates as well, and I think that makes it better.
You had a quarterback from Prosser as a walk-on, so I got to ask about that.
Did you know he's a lefty?
No way.
No.
I was like, you didn't give him.
Sorry, I don't.
You didn't give him number 11.
People are already hyperventilating. That would have,
I was going to go there with you, right?
Yeah.
Didn't want to do that.
People already had the
brought
Browns.
11 out, gave it to him.
Yeah.
But Tanner Bolt, I mean, just obviously.
Oh,
that
it was.
interesting.
Yeah, he came. You know, he's obviously a little bit late, and Coach Hill had been talking to him, and there's a relationship there. And we had a newcomer meeting. He comes in there, have him introduce himself, and his parents were in there, and he says he's from Prosser, and I'm like, I have no idea where that's at. And he just was floored. He didn't know how to answer. He's like, and I'm like, yeah, I know where it's at. And great personality, great kid. First time I got a chance to see him out there. I've seen him play, but you know, again, same question that you asked, and see him out there throwing, fits right in. Yeah, as far as his ability right now, we've got one day. I think he's threw 10 passes out there today, so we'll see.
Gabe's one of the few seniors on that 2 deep on the defensive side of the ball. How valuable is his experience for that unit?
Perez, yeah. Well, his leadership. I would say this about Gabe. His experience is there, and he's moved positions. He's moving around a little bit. It's kind of a weapon, the way you can utilize him. Gabe is a fantastic leader. He's from just class, overall, weight room, operation, you know, just how he goes about his business every single day. So probably more so than even the playing. He's a really good player, but the leadership, him being out there, and a guy that he doesn't have to say a whole lot. I think guys just look, and when he's out there, it's better. I think that's probably the best way to put it. And we're glad to have him back. I mean, he's you know what, he feels great. He had a great day today, moving around, so you know that's a good start.
Is he inspiring to you guys or the guys around him? The fact that I mean, he did miss a whole season and then missed most of last season too, but here he is right back at it, and you guys have hopes for him. Pretty high hopes.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do have high hopes for him. He does as well, but most guys in his situation, they're probably not going to continue on, and he loves the game. He loves his team. He loves the challenge. I guess that's one of the things. As difficult as it is, that's his mentality. That's why he's successful. That's why he'll always be successful in everything that he does. But you're right. A lot of guys, I don't think, keep attacking that challenge like he did. And when guys see him out there, certainly as coaches, you kind of sit there and it does. It inspires you, and you love he's got that type of heart and that mindset. And he brings a lot to the table. That's why I think the leadership part of it is a huge key.
You look at that O-line, you lose 3 3-year starters and like 120 plus career starts, and the 3 possible replacements I think have three combined career starts. They're all John Molchon, I think. How do you look at those? Both your guards with Larson and Molchon, and then possibly with Cleveland too. How that group looks?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think those guys are talented. The guys that played in all those games, they were talented too, but there was something a little bit different. You play O-line, you play that many games, you have that many starts. There's a mentality there, and I would say those guys, they've seen it, they understand what it is, they're developing that. Until they go out there and actually do it, it's hard to say. They have practiced in spring. The one, not Molchon, but the guys that are competing at some of those spots that did practice in spring. They did well. Those guys got themselves back and healthy, all of them. So we have our full line ready to roll. They did that through the summer. And so it was nice to see those guys back out there again. I know they were excited about it, and there was good energy on the O-line. There's more competition because those guys that got a little bit of that playing time in the spring want to have that again. So there's some good competition going on there. But as far as what does that mean, we're going to have 5 guys. As far as in comparison to the guys that played before, I think on the O-line you got to go out there and do it before you can really talk about it.
DeAndre, my question for you is, he's not your normal size safety, but you guys seem pretty confident in that being able to put him back there. What is it about him that you guys think you can be successful with a guy, who's atypically sized over there?
Sure. Yeah, you got your Chancellor James. I guess, Jeremy Ioane, is probably not your typical size safety, extremely smart. Marty Tadman, I don't think people would say that he's your typical size safety, extremely smart. And I see the same thing. I think that's where Pierce, in this game, he's very football intelligent. He plays extremely fast. He communicates. He's got confidence. And to me, that's what that position's about. I guess you start to size it up. We've probably, we've had big, we've had, average size, if you want to say that, and they've all been successful in their own ways. I think that's just football players. You got to kind of look at that. And he's one of those guys that played corner. We put him at safety, so he had a bigger role in communicating and talking to the defense in the back end. And so far, he's done a great job back there.